Soon as I turned 16 and the signs of youth began to appear on my face, my mother became worried about getting me married. Discussions about my marriage proposal started among relatives and acquaintances. Whenever I overheard these conversations, I would think to myself, I haven't even passed matric yet. Why is Ami so worried about marrying me off? There was a woman in our neighborhood named Zainab, whom we all called Khala Ji. Her nephew was studying in Lahore. Khala Ji mentioned my proposal to him. The boy put forward a condition. He would only agree to marry after seeing the girl. If he liked her, fine. Otherwise, he would refuse. In those days, seeing a girl first and then rejecting her was considered disgraceful. Therefore, my parents rejected this condition. However, they agreed that if the boy was satisfied with seeing only a photograph, then a picture could be sent, but only on Kalaji's responsibility that it would be returned afterward. Kalaji accepted this condition. She asked me if I had any nice photograph. I already knew why the picture was being asked for, so I replied that I would look for one and give it if I found any. In those days, photography was not very common. We lived in a small locality where good photo studios were rare, and girls usually did not go out to get photographs taken. For several days, I kept avoiding my mother and Kalaji. I was an average-looking girl, and on top of that, I was not photogenic at all. Whenever photos were taken at weddings, my face looked even worse in pictures than in reality. I was extremely confused. On the other hand, Kalaji never tired of praising her nephew's good looks. One day, she brought his photograph and showed it to my mother, and I saw it too. Something stirred in my heart. I thought, how could such a handsome, university-going boy ever be impressed by a photograph of an ordinary-looking girl like me? He would surely make fun of me. Kalaji kept insisting daily, saying, "This diamond-like boy will slip out of your hands. You'll never get such a proposal again. You'll regret it forever." Finally, fed up with the pressure, I came up with a solution. I did not want to face rejection at any cost. I had a very beautiful friend named Shazia, who studied with me at school. I had her photograph. I placed it in an envelope and gave it to my mother, who passed it on to Kalaji. Kalaji sent the sealed envelope to Lahore. Since they had already seen me before, they did not open the envelope. The boy liked the photograph very much and immediately agreed to the proposal. A letter arrived saying that after his exams, the boy's family would visit for engagement, or nikah. The match should be considered final. Both families agreed. My mother became so happy that she immediately started stitching dowry clothes. I was secretly pleased that my plan had worked, but a thought haunted me. What will happen when he lifts the veil and sees my face? I consoled myself that I would manage the situation somehow. I had that much confidence. 2 months later, my wedding date was fixed, and 4 months later I was married and sent to my in-laws' home with Sajjad. On the wedding night, Sajjad lifted my veil with many hopes. The face he had imagined from the photograph was entirely different from mine. He sighed deeply. He belonged to a respectable family. He considered my parents' honor and his own family's dignity. He also did not want to break the heart of an innocent young girl. The nikah had already taken place. I had entered his home as his wife. Patience was the only option, and he chose patience, believing it to be Allah's will and for his own betterment. I was not ugly, just average. And anyway, even average-looking girls appear beautiful as brides. That night, I looked quite attractive, which is why he accepted me. He did ask whether my family had sent the wrong photograph or whether Kalaji was responsible. I admitted that I had done it myself. I told him that when I saw his photograph, it left a deep impression on my heart, and I wanted him to accept me at any cost. He asked, "What if I hadn't accepted this deception?" I replied, "It was my good fortune that you did. Please forgive me now." He smiled and said, "All right, forgiven. You'll remember that you once dealt with a generous man." He treated me very well. We lived happily as husband and wife. Yet a strange uneasiness remained within him. He often said, "I wish I could see that fairy once, the one whose image is etched in my mind." I dismissed it as a joke. 6 years passed. I became the mother of a child. Still, he occasionally mentioned the girl in the photograph. One day, by coincidence, Shazia came to our house. Her brother had been transferred to Lahore, so the family moved there. When she found out I lived in Lahore too, she came to visit. She had become even more beautiful than before. While I stayed home after matric, she continued her education and completed graduation. Education had refined her personality and elegance. We were so engrossed in conversation that we didn't even notice when Sajjad came home. The moment he saw Shazia, he froze. Staring at her, he exclaimed, "This is her, the girl in the photograph!" I told Shazia the entire story and apologized. I said, "If I hadn't used your photograph, how would I have married a man like Sajjad?" She replied, "You are truly lucky." But something had changed. Shazia started visiting frequently. Gradually, Sajjad demanded permission for a second marriage. What I thought was a joke turned into stubborn insistence. Finally, Shazia confessed that Sajjad wanted to marry her and was asking me for permission. My world collapsed. I begged Shazia to stop coming. She agreed, but it was too late. Sajjad's obsession had turned into madness. He told me, "If I don't marry Shazia, I'll go insane. If you love me, give me permission." I couldn't. Eventually, I left for my parents' home, a mistake that cost me everything. Shazia took full advantage. First, she got me divorced, then married Sajjad. Today, I have lost my husband, my home, and all my happiness. Perhaps this is the punishment for my deception, or simply fate. Now I am a burden on my widowed mother. I have no one left in this world. This is a true life story. After reading it, you may feel pity for my foolishness,